All right, everybody, what's going on? Today, we're taking a look at the Injora Planet axles. These are really cool. The first thing I do like about them is all the machine work on them. I already have opened these up and looked at them before I did this video today. So let's just get into it. The packaging is really nice. It's very well organized. As you can see, you get a rear and a front, and the colors. I kind of wish I would have gotten gray now, but it doesn't really matter because I'll tell you what, both of them are really damn cool. So let's just go ahead and get started with the rear. I've already opened these up, like I said, so we don't have to go through all the stuff. So we have an axle, truss upper plate, and then we have the hardware kit. Okay, so hardware kit is awesome. Everything that's in here is what you need, obviously, to do what needs to be done to get these onto your truck. The hardware looks really nice. I like that everything is in a nice little bag, so at least you can keep track of what the heck's going on. So yeah, basically a bag. We all know what that stuff is and how that works. So mine did come with the upper plate here. So right here, this actually is mounted facing forward like this on the top of this. So these sections, these adjustments right here are dictated by or can dictate your anti-squat, which is, I'm not exactly sure what their incremental changes are on that. But I do know that anti-squat is something that does definitely help in these trucks sometimes when you're doing like different inclines or higher elevated inclines. The anti-squat kind of makes it force the front wheels back to the ground. So anyways, it did come with the plate, which is really cool. So onto the real deal here. So this is called the Planet axle because of the housing being machined. Almost looks like a Chrysler or an industrial, like, you know, a real heavy duty differential would you'd see like that. But it's all CNC machined. It's very nice. All the mounts are very substantially solid. I feel like you're not going to run into any problems with those as long as you're gentle, tightening them and keeping maintenance up on them. They're super smooth. The just everything about them assembly wise is just very nice. They are 8 millimeters wider, which if you don't know millimeters off the top of your head, it's 5/16 of an inch. So essentially you're making them 3/32 of an inch wider, roughly, per side. But it's really cool because, you know, it just, you know, with the truck look that most of us are going for, a little bit of stability doesn't hurt, but you don't want to get so big that the tires are sticking way out the sides too. So I feel like this is probably going to be a good mix of both. So yeah, but super buttery smooth. You know, it's got some weight to it. I mean, you can feel quality as soon as you touch it. You're like, yeah, that's exactly what I expected. You know, and I think they call it the Planet Planet differential because just of that. But I do like that they did put the differential or the third member setup with the way that's set up to have all of the mounting hardware on the back. I mean, it keeps it from getting chewed up. You know, I mean, I don't think they really would chew anything up on these, but anyways, well put together, super smooth. I will probably pull this and just check the grease in them just because that's what I do. So, and I'll always check to make sure everything's snug. So there's the rear axle. And then moving to the front, we have a bag that's in the way. We have the parts, steering links, both of them very excellently machined. There's nothing, like I said, the quality on these are just outrageous. I've even noticed they've got contrast cuts on this, which is really cool. Didn't notice that until I just seen it right now. But yeah, that's attention to detail, guys. That's what's really cool. These are definitely machined very nice. I don't see I don't think you're gonna break or wear these out. Very nicely made, solid machine work. Of course, you got your bag of hardware and you got your brass ball ends for your links here, which I feel like with the brass and that, those are going to be very stable and solid for quite some time now. But here's what we all came to see. This is what matters. Here's your front axle. Like, just looking at this from the front as a perspective of like something more scale of a real truck, you know, this has got everything, all the aspects of it. First things I noticed is that the double CV, or constant velocity, whatever you want to call it, this thing here, it's got a double on it, which is really nice. It's kind of like a cardan joint in a way, and like a real drive shaft, but it's just astronomical how far you can actually get this thing to turn. And I believe that the way these are machined in here, like you can see right here where it stops. I don't think that you're going to need at all of that movement. But what's really cool is that when this thing is fully turned left or right, it's hard to grab a hold of this, but it's like glass. Like, these are excellently built. They're here. When you get these, they're going to stand the test of time. The brass, even the brass steering knuckles, they're contrast cut just for a little extra detail. So I will be, checking all the hardware on these, because I don't want to lose these little screws on any trails, because it ruins the day. So here again, it's got the planetary infrastructure of it, and here again, all the hardware's in the front. So I mean, it kind of keeps it out of the elements being on the back. But anyways, this thing looks super tough. I like everything about them. This is substantial. Like, you could, if you had weight on the front of your truck, you might be able to actually take some of that off and bring some of your aesthetics back, because this does have, with these brass weights on here, it definitely has a very robust and very heavy duty feel to it. So I mean, the stainless adds a little bit of weight. They're just really nice. I think for scale crawlers and the little 24 scale stuff, I would say that this is, I mean, it's very, very nice quality. So I'm going to get them installed. If I have any problems when I'm installing it, I'm going to let us know. Like I said, I don't really foresee any problems. I've never had anything with Injora that actually did have any fitment issues on anything that I did it with it. So it's going to be a shame to scratch them up, but I feel like the adventure will be worth it, and the stories will be worth it too. So thanks for taking a look. I hope this was helpful. These are available everywhere, but these were a good deal on Amazon. I would like to think that a lot of us get a lot of our crawler parts from there, so they're easy to find. Check out Injora and their planted axles. You won't be disappointed. I don't know, like I said, the gray is really, really cool too. Black looks more industrial, but I mean, hey, if it's going to color match, or it's a color that matters, well, you know what? They've given you options. So, it's a twofer at any point in time with that. So there's a deep dive into them without stripping them apart and, doing like a full prep on them. It's like I said, I honestly don't even think you really need to. I'm going to check just because, but I'll put them together. I'll get it installed, and when I do, if I do run into any snags, I'll make sure that I just throw a little quick video to go along with this review. If there isn't, well, no news is good news. So thanks again for taking a look at the Injora planted axles. I hope this was informative and helpful. And yes, like I said, thank you very much for your time.